So we're actually like one day before closing, so we're just getting the house prepped for the buyer. Technically in the contract, usually the house has to be broom swept. So we actually brought somebody in. We got a cleaner here today, and they got their crew here, and they're literally broom sweeping the house. So we'll go inside, we'll take a look. We don't ever want whether it's my client or my customer or with someone else's customer, we never want them to walk into their new home and do their walkthrough and just kind of feel like I'm buying this house, I'm spending all this money, and have like a negative feeling going into the purchase. So today we're just making sure everything's clean. So you can see all the floors have been done, they've been mopped, they've been cleaned. There is no more dust on the floor, which is going to be a great experience for the buyer when she comes in. Everything is wiped down. These guys do a great job. They literally will open every cabinet, they will vacuum every rug, every bathroom, every part of the house will be spick and span. Yeah, so on this house, I was the listing agent. The buyer did come through me also. But in the end of the day, I do need to make sure that what's in the contract is what the buyer gets. And the house just needed to be cleaned up. The owner's not available to do it, so I told him, don't worry about it. I have people that can kind of take care of it. It's not just one person coming in. We'll get like a nice crew of people in here to make sure that the house is like very presentable. And if we're gonna pay the money to have the house cleaned up, we wanna make sure that it's done the right way. So the outside, usually we don't have clean, but we'll make sure that the owner maintains the property, have the landscaper come and, down until the last day. Make sure the grass is cut. There's nothing worse than if you're working with a buyer, they come to the house, they do the walkthrough, and the grass is like waist high. No one wants to come see their new house and see that it's almost been abandoned. So the owner did a great job here. We want everyone to have a good experience, whether we represent them or they're the ones purchasing the home. So we just want the whole experience to be, from A to Z, we just want it to be flawless, and we want to hold it to a very high regard. I want to hold myself to a high regard, and I want the property and the experience to kind of represent what my personal look on life is and business. So we try to make sure everything is complete and done the right way. While we're in the house, we're doing the actual final walkthrough with the buyer today. So while I'm here, I'm actually going to test some of the items that we're going to end up testing later on anyway. I'd rather be prepared for if it doesn't work, because I don't want the buyer to find out for the first time that maybe the air conditioning didn't work. Basically anything that was working while we went to contract, we have to make sure it's working before they buy the house. So we'll test the air conditioners. Seems like everything's working. Another thing we always check are all the appliances. They all have to be in the same condition that they were when they went to contract. The number one thing that ends up breaking at the walkthrough or seeming to not work is the dishwasher. They all work differently, so we always try to make sure we know how to turn it on beforehand. All right, so we're turned on. We'll give it a little bit of time. We'll test the other air conditioner while we're kind of waiting. All right, everything is good here. So we always test we have to test the stove. This is gas. So we want to make sure that everything lights. Everything's working here. That's good. The other thing we always do is we put on the stove just to make sure the stove is working. If it doesn't work, again, there's usually something in the contract that the buyer will get compensation for, whether it's 200, 300, 500, whatever the number that they said was. But when the buyer moves in the house, they want to make sure that all this stuff works. And if it doesn't, they just want to get paid for it. So we do have to check. This is on, so we're good to go. Shut this off, it'll drain. All right, we're all set. No, so actually this is perfect. I have another client, potential listing out in Hampton Bays, and they're preparing the house for sale. It's an estate. You need a clean out company. So one thing that's the best for me, one of the best parts about my job is just being a resource for people and just always having an answer, whether I'm gonna be hired or it's just for a family or friend. They need a clean out company because the house just has a bunch of stuff in it. Before they sell it, they know that they have to get everything out. So I actually have two companies that I always recommend. This is one of the most valuable parts of being an agent, if you're resourceful, whether people need you just for personal stuff or they're thinking of you in the selling process, if you become a resource for people, people will always call you when they have questions, whether it's for cleaning a house, doing something in the garden, dormering a house, or something as small as cleaning out some stuff in their garage. So I'm just going to shoot them a text so that they have all the information that they need, and this also hopefully solidifies me as the person who gets the listing, because I'm helping them before I even have a contract signed with them, and they're seeing that I'm putting in work that I might not even get paid for. So it can't always be about money. You always have to put the people first, and if you put the people first, the referrals and the business will just kind of come over your way through the referral process.